Ah. There's been lots of really loud noises here for a second.
It's okay. We're not even in the episode yet, so I can cut it out.
Oh, wait, I have to have an intro, too. Oh, man. This is a comrade. Hey, comrade.
Hey, comrade.
Is it comrade or is it Conrad Fisher?
I don't know Conrad Fisher.
From The Summer I Turned Pretty. The Summer I Turned Pretty fans,
okay.
you know.
Yeah.
That was
That
really
one, that one goes
funny.
out to all the real ones out there who read Colleen Hoover.
Wait, who's the author of those books?
The Summer I Turned Pretty?
Yeah. What's her name?
Somebody. Some lady.
This is a really bad joke. It's really embarrassing. Like, this is not a good way to start the new year. If this is the tone that I'm setting for the new year, it's a bad one.
I'm fed up with The Summer I Turned Pretty. I only want to talk about heated rivalry.
Oh.
Heated rivalry fans, where are you at? That's some book content we could get into.
Heated rivalry. This is just not on. Heated rivalry fans, tap in. Let us know.
I'm glad you're here on this Sunday. I'm going to get right into the message. I'm going to tell it like it is, as they say. Oh, I heard a hallelujah. Did you think I don't know what the hell is going on? And a lot of strange places. Where in the hell have you been? Hell, fire! Hell, fire! Hell, fire! All right. Okay, there's something else, too.
Hello, and welcome to the Satire Fire, your favorite podcast about gay hockey smut, apparently. I'm Sydney.
And the revolution. Viva la revolution. I'm Samuel.
And we're back. It's a new year. Same us. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We might spice things up in the Satire Fire this year.
This is actually my year number 7 of the it takes 7 years for every cell in your body to regenerate completely. So get used to the new me, because I just turned over a new leaf. Every cell in my body is now different, and I've become better.
You've leveled up. I haven't leveled up. I'm in year 1. But yeah, if you are new here in this new year, welcome. We are a podcast all about satirical novels, not actually about hockey smut. So if you came here looking for heated rivalry content, you're only going to get what was in the intro. I'm so sorry.
Unless you DM me personally, in which case I will not know much about heated rivalry or hockey smut, but I can talk about hockey a lot and tell
gay.
you, and being gay, and I can tell you about who all of the players are that they're basing all the tropes off of, because they're pulling from some real life examples of some hockey players who have, let's just call it, a little bit of tension.
That could be fun. So yeah, you guys reach out to Samuel. But yeah, we are all about satirical novels. We talk about different novels all throughout history. I mean, not like really. We haven't been back in like BC novel era, but
No, we'll get there at some point.
yeah, I'm sure they were writing satire back in the day. But what we do is we take a novel and we do 3 episodes on it. First one is always a summary episode where we just tell you, here's what this novel's about. If you haven't read it in a while, or you haven't read it before, or you just like hearing us talk, here's what's going on. The second episode, we always do kind of a contextual episode. So like what things either about the author or in history that were going on at the time the book was written do we need to know and talk about in order to better understand this book. And then our third episode is always just kind of an analysis where we yap about the book. Did we like it? Did we not? What's it trying to say? Did it do a good job? And then we always end our analysis episode by doing our official Satire Fire ranking, where we are trying to rank every satirical novel in the world and find out what's the best of all time. So very fun. That's the structure of the episodes. I thought you might need a little refresher if you haven't listened in a while, or you're finding us in the new year. We're really glad you're here today.
Yeah, if your New Year's resolution was to listen to more podcasts, look at you. You're already one up on the competition.
You're doing it. And you found one of the best podcasts, so really, you're so lucky.
Underrated is what many are calling it. As in, no one is rating it.
Come on, guys, please rate us 5 stars. But today we are starting our first novel of the new year, which is Animal Farm by George Orwell. You've probably heard of it. You might have read it in school. I know I did. And yeah.
Is this the first book that we've talked about where one of us had to read it as required reading in school?
I think so. Yeah. It's the first one for me, so.
Nice. I don't know if I ever had to read a full satirical book going through school. And so all of this is going to be like new ground as far as novels for me. I did have a satire section in one of my English classes at some grade level. I have no idea, but I feel like I remember reading sections of books or short stories. I never actually read any of the like classics like we are now.
Yeah. Huh. I'm trying to remember, like, I know I read, what is that book? The Metamorphosis.
Okay.
Is that satire?
I think you could make the argument that it is. It might just be allegorical, though.
Yeah. I read that, and I read, Lord of the Flies, but that's not satire, I don't think. That's more so just kind of a classic.
Yeah.
So this might be the only satirical novel. I read several, two other dystopian novels, which I think can, lean satire, but I don't know if you ever heard of the book Anthem by Ayn Rand. Yeah. But
Ayn Rand, yeah.
Ayn Rand, yeah. But I read that. Anyways.
We'll cover her at some point. She's a
Yeah.
piece of shit.
That's exciting. Gives us lots of hater content. But anyway, so yeah, today we're talking about Animal Farm. It's just going to be a summary episode. If you are here because you're a George Orwell fan, might I recommend you go listen to our very first book series ever that we did on the podcast, which was 1984. Samuel led that series. It's probably a lot different because we've kind of gotten into more of a groove with our podcasting skills, so that could be fun.
Potentially. Or you let us know, have we gotten better or have we gotten worse?
Yeah, that'll be good. But anyways, before we get into that, Samuel, what did you want to chat about? What have you been reading or doing or watching?
So, what I wanted to talk about is a movie that I recently saw that is based on a book. Which some of you are probably already familiar with this movie. It got quite a lot of publicity and has been very highly rated by a lot of critics. It is the movie Hamnet.
Oh, yeah. Did you read the book?
I have not read the book. The book was put out in 2020 by Maggie O. Farrell, and the movie is a adaptation of the book. I don't know how direct of an adaptation, other than I do know that Maggie Farrell gets not just an adaptation credit, but also a writing credit on the movie. So she was involved in making the movie. So I assume that it's relatively similar to the book. But if you're not familiar, the movie is following a young William Shakespeare, who is meeting, falling in love with, and getting married to a woman who is his wife, Agnes. I don't know, it's spelled Agnes, but they definitely don't pronounce it Agnes in the movie. I don't know how to pronounce it historically accurate, but Agnes. And them having kids and then navigating a tumultuous relationship with their families and just a young marriage in general having a couple of issues going on. This is not necessarily that much of a spoiler, I don't think, because it's like the whole point of the movie and the whole point of the book, and also this is based on historical reality, so this is like a known thing that happened in Shakespeare's life. But Shakespeare had a son named Hamnet, which this is a thing that it talks about at the beginning of the movie. Hamnet and Hamlet were identical. They were the same name back in olden days. They were pronounced the same. So Hamnet, Hamlet, it's the same thing. But he had a son named Hamnet who died of the Black Plague. And the movie is really like a slow burn of getting to the point at which his son dies, and then watching as this couple tries to navigate the grief that that brings and the way that that changes the relationship that they have to have lost a son in the way that they did. And then looks to Shakespeare as he writes the play Hamlet, almost as a way of dealing with and expressing the grief of having lost a son, and trying to come to terms with the experience, with the way that he feels, trying to express what it meant to him. And like, that's kind of like it. Like, the movie ends with the production of Hamlet being finished and him having been able to enact that vision into the world. This movie made me cry so much. I am not somebody who cries at a lot of movies, and this is gonna sound like a joke. It's not a joke. It is the most that I've cried at a movie since watching Godzilla Minus Zero, which is one of my favorite movies. And if you think that all Godzilla movies are just like guy action movies, watch Godzilla Minus Zero. That movie made me cry. It was very good. But Hamnet is doing so much to talk about grief and loss and life and what aspects of life are worth grieving and the ways in which relationships can change based off of mortality and the threat of dying. And then it also is really looking to what role does art play in life. And the way that it's trying to, like, the thing that I think that it's wanting you to come away with is that for the artist, art is a expression of an emotion that you can't get out of you any other way. And for the audience, it is this gift of an emotion that someone else has curated for you. Like, for this specific instance, Shakespeare has created this experience within which he can mourn, and then invites the public to share in that mourning, so that it becomes this collective experience. And the experience that he had, like the death of his son, means more because it is shared and all of these other people are taking part in grieving with him for that loss. I think that there are some aspects of it that I didn't love. And there are some things that I think if I watched it again in like a month, it wouldn't quite hit the same way. But that first watch really, really did something for me. And I would highly recommend it. I'm interested in reading the book now.
Yeah.
Because one of my critiques of the movie is that I feel like despite how long it is, it still should have been a little bit longer in order to really let you sit in the emotions that it's trying to evoke in you. But regardless, I really loved it. I would recommend it if you get the opportunity to see it. It is not going to surprise me if it gets a couple of Oscar nominations, because I do think that it was really good.
Oh, yeah, I'd actually heard about that book a lot on TikTok recently, and I was considering adding it to my to read list. So that's cool. It's good to know that the movie is like worth watching.
Yeah. I think that it's not my main like critique of the movie from like a technical perspective. Like there's a couple of storytelling choices that it makes that I don't love, but one critique is it's really tough it's really tough for me to buy Paul Mescal as a 16th century Englishman. Like I don't know what it is, but looking at every time he showed up on screen with his cunty little ear piercing, I was like, no, that guy has seen TikTok. Like, I just 100%, that dude has eaten a flaming hot Dorito. Like, you cannot convince me otherwise. There's that no one who looks like that was a glove maker in 1596 or whatever the hell.
That's funny.
But what have you been reading or doing or watching or generally experiencing in life?
I just was going to talk a little bit about my New Year's Eve. I went to my aunt's house, and it was just like my aunts and then their 3 children and their my Aunt Brienne's mom. So like their Glamma is what they call her. But so it's just kind of like a family night, but we played a bunch of games, and Glamma had like prepped like you can win prizes. If you win a game, you win a prize, and she had gotten enough prizes for like everyone to get one prize. So anyways, so we started by playing bingo. We played 2 rounds. I didn't win either round of bingo. And then we moved into this game called Bunko. Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of it. I don't know how to play it, but I've heard the name.
Yeah, I had also heard the name, but I had never played. It was very it was like a fun game, but it was really funny because like I don't know, we were confused for so long whether or not you were like supposed to be like playing it quickly or not. But basically you just have 3 die. There's 2 tables. There's a winner's table and a loser's table, and each table has 3 die. And whatever.
It would be 3 dice, 1 die.
1 die, 3 dice. You have 3 dice. So you start with 1s, and you have a partner. So like, if you and me were playing, and then there would be 2 other people at the table, like I'd roll, and if I get 2 1s and then the other die is like not a 1, then that's 2 points, and I get to roll again. And so you're trying to get like up to a certain number of whatever like number on the dice that you're saying. And so you start with 1s, and you do 6 rounds of this game, and you go to 6.
Okay.
Anyways, and you only get you get 1 point every time you get the number that's the current like number of the game. The winner's table is playing till someone gets to 21 points. The loser's table is just playing until the winner's table is done. So like technically like you could get like 28 points at the loser's table, but and then whoever wins at the winner's table stays, that team stays, and then whoever wins at the loser's table moves to the winner's table. Anyways, and it's just going back and forth. So, and you have to switch partners every time. So like if you and I were partners at the winner's table and we won and we stayed at that table, then 2 other people came over, I'd have to be partners with one of them, and you'd have to be partners with the other. Yeah, and so I don't know why I'm explaining this game. This is probably like really boring, guys. Just skip ahead. But all that to say is like we played these 6 rounds, and Glammo was keeping track individually like how many games each person won, and I only won 1 of the 6 rounds, and everyone else won multiple rounds. I won once. So I definitely did not win a prize for this game. Didn't win a prize for bingo. And then finally we play left, right, center. I'm not going to explain that.
Yeah.
We play that. And I'm the only person who never won left, right, center. So I was the only person this whole game period. And they were all like luck games. Like, you know, it wasn't really like skill based. But I'm the only one who just like didn't win anything basically the whole game playing period. But there was enough prizes for everyone. And so Galama gave me the consolation prize, is what she called it. Like, she was like, wow, congrats, you're the one person who didn't win.
Hell yeah. Way to go.
I was like, I'm like, if this is setting the tone for my 2026, I don't know if I can handle it. This is not. But it was really fun. Like, playing the games was fun. And then we also did, like, scratch-off tickets. And we had all, like, the Powerball for New Year's Eve was, I can't even remember how much, but we all had, like, gotten Powerball tickets. No one won those, but...
maybe you just got all of your bad luck for the year out of the way right at the top.
Right at the top. Hopefully. That's what I'm going for, because I'm like, this is crazy.
We'll see. If we get to the end of the year and none of your predicting 2026 predictions came true, then we'll know that you just, like, it was not your year.
Anyways, all right, let's talk about Animal Farm.
Sure. I guess. Fine. God.
I guess. I think we were here for something. Okay, so Animal Farm. Comrades, are you ready? This is a novella. It's quite short. It is, well, it probably depends on the version you have.
That's typically how it works.
But just for reference, for anyone who's not choosing to pick up the book and read it, my version has 90 pages. So,
okay.
Quite short. I would recommend reading it, honestly. It's kind of a fun read. It's
really quick.
It's quick. It's fun. Silly. Well, it's not silly. It's actually quite serious. But anyways, like, the concept is silly. And so basically what's going on here is we're at this farm called Manor Farm. Well, for now, it's called Manor Farm. And it's your average farm. It's got horses and pigs and cows and dogs and cats, a cat. It's got all the normal, a goat. All the normal farm animals that you'd have. It's got. And Mr. Jones, who is like the owner of the farm, the proprietor, I guess, is, you know, doing his daily tasks on the farm. And it opens with him being drunk and being like, all right, I'm going to bed. Hard day's work is over. And he's like stumbling to bed. He grabs another beer and it's like, what, buddy, what? You're going to bed. Why are you grabbing another beer? Anyways, but he forgets to properly like shut all the gates and the barn door and everything like that, which is kind of a theme for Mr. Jones. He's like not really a good farm owner. He doesn't do a very good job. He's very neglectful, honestly.
It's much better at drinking than at farming.
So he's going to bed. And as soon as his light goes out, as soon as he goes into the bedroom to, you know, go to bed and shuts off the light, we learn that these farm animals, they're not your average farm animals. They can talk, I think. I don't know. Mm-hmm. They can communicate with each other. Yeah. And there's this old boar, like he's like the head of the animal community. His name's Old Major. And Old Major's going to give a speech. And so all the farm animals are convening in the barn and they're ready. And so you have this like really nice scene right off the bat, like introducing you to all the animals on the farm. And it's this first chapter is honestly like, it tells you everything you need to know about the book. Like, it's like it's a really, it's a really
it lays
good
out
chapter.
the whole thesis of what's about to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just like, you're seeing all the animals come in and we're learning about the animals. And then Old Major gives his thesis. Like, he basically lays out, this is what is happening in this book. Mm-hmm. And so he is telling them, comrades, I'm going to die soon. Foreshadowing. And I just want to leave you with this. We have lived this downtrodden, hard life we're not respected. We're given just enough food to survive, and we have to work and labor all day. That's not fair. Like, we shouldn't have to live this way. Animals in England, they don't understand the meaning of happiness or leisure. We don't ever get to experience leisure. We are just in misery and slavery from the day we're born till the day we die. And our lives are cut short because we're killed off for food and to feed man. So he goes on and to talk about, like, basically how they're, like, the lower class, and they've been put in that place by who? Man. And so he's like, man is the enemy. And I foresee a time when us animals will rise up and rebel against man. Like, we don't have to stay in this place. We can reclaim our power, essentially. And so he's encouraging them to spend their lives fighting towards the rebellion. Like, not necessarily saying you're going to see that rebellion in your life, but saying this should be your purpose, is, like, preparing for a time when we won't live this, like, hard life anymore. And then he also tells them about a dream that he has, which is just basically, like, animals living free from, like, the shackles of man. And then he dies 3 days later in his sleep. And the animals, they really took it to heart. They were like, yeah, we want to rise up. We want to rebel. And so specifically the pigs of the farm. So Old Major was a pig. He was a boar. But he was kind of like he was like a show boar. He wasn't like a for food pig. So he had lived a long life, whereas, like, the pigs who are raised for slaughter they don't live very long lives. They just, you guys know how farm animals work.
You've heard of food before.
And so, but the pigs, for some reason, like, I don't know why this is. I was, like, hoping to talk about, like, why are the pigs the smartest? Like, where did that idea come from?
I mean, just as animals in general, pigs are known to be smart.
Yeah. And so basically the pigs, because they're, like, the smartest of all the animals, kind of take on the role of organizing this rebellion. And specifically there's two pigs, Napoleon and Snowball, and they kind of lead the crusade. And so basically they create this philosophy, like these principles. They have 7 principles, the principles of animalism, and they call each other comrade, and they are basically like, these are the principles. Should I tell the principles?
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, they come up with these 7 commandments of animalism, and Napoleon and Snowball are having meetings every night, basically, like Old Major did, and saying, like, they're teaching the other animals these principles and teaching them about, like, the philosophy of animalism and, like, why they should be rebelling. And so the 7 commandments are as follows. 1, whatever goes upon 2 legs is an enemy. 2, whatever goes upon 4 legs or has wings is a friend. 3, no animal shall wear clothes. 4, no animal shall sleep in a bed. 5, no animal shall drink alcohol. 6, no animal shall kill any other animal. And 7, all animals are equal. And the other animals are kind of, like, struggling a bit with these ideas. Some of them, because they're dumb. No. Because they've, grown up and been born into this slavery that they are in, and that's all they know. And so they, like, enjoy, like, for example, Molly, the like, pretty carriage horse, is like, well, I still get, like, my sugar cubes and get to wear ribbons in my mane when we overthrow Mr. Jones. And so they just, like, are used to specific things that are only true because they are farm animals.
Yeah.
Anyways, but then Snowball's like, no, Molly, you idiot. Those ribbons symbolize the slavery that we live in. Why would you want those ribbons? So, anyways, it's going pretty well, but there is this raven who is just, like, an antagonist antagonist, Moses, and Moses is like telling all the other animals about this place called Sugar Candy Mountain.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is this place where animals go when they die, and it's magical, and there's sugar growing on the bushes, and there's just all these luxuries, and it's like heaven. And he's like telling them about animal heaven, basically.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, like we really want to go there. Like maybe that's what's meant to happen. We're meant to live this life that we're in now, and then we die early and go to Sugar Candy Mountain. And the pigs are like, no, Moses is a liar. Filthy liar. But Boxer and Clover, the cart horses, they're a little dumb, but they're strong. Like they're firm personalities, and they are able, because of their like loyalty and their kindness, able to convince the other animals like, no, we need to revolt against Mr. Jones. So basically what happens what had happened is Mr. Jones is like drunk again, and he's crazy. He lost a bunch of money in a lawsuit, and he's just like I said, neglectful. And so one day he's like binge drinking, like he's drunk off his ass, and he forgets to feed the animals, which is like your one job, like and the cows break into the shed where he keeps the food and eat, and Mr. Jones and his like workers discover this happening. Or do they walk in on them, or do they just like see that the shed's been
I think they
broken
walk
into?
in on them.
Yeah, they walk in and they're angry, and they like whip the cows for breaking into the food shed. And you know what? This just pisses all the animals off. And they're like, we were going to rebel in like years, but why not today? And they attack them, and they chase them from the farm. And all the men, everyone leaves. And then it's just the animals. And so they destroy, like get rid of all the like, they start to get rid of all the things that like represent their enslavement, like the chains and the halters and the whips and things like that. They get rid of all those, and they basically just want to like rid the place of Mr. Jones all in any way. And then like once they do that, they sing this song called Beasts of England that old Major had taught them before he died. And they're celebrating, just having a grand old night, like eating extra food, just they're hanging out. And so then the next day they're like, okay, let's break into this farmhouse, and they start like looking at all the luxuries that Mr. Jones was getting to enjoy that they weren't allowed to have. But they're like, some of the other animals want to like enjoy them, but the pigs are like, no, remember, we don't use things of man. And so they basically made this rule that like no animal can ever live in the farmhouse. No animal is allowed to be in here and act like a man. They also, turns out the pigs can read.
They've been teaching themselves.
They've been teaching themselves to read. And so instead of calling it Manor Farm, Snowball paints on top of the gate, the entryway to the farm, and changes it to Animal Farm. And then they paint the 7 commandments of animalism on the side of the barn. And thus their new regime begins. Am I missing anything important so far?
I don't think so. I think that's covering the setup.
Okay. So then, the animals just start running the farm on their own. Like they're harvesting the food on their own. They are creating like committees. Like they're creating like a government system, and like they agree that like everything should be shared, like communal. Everything is for the communal good. Like very like think like principles of communism. Like
Shit.
Sorry, spoiler. But the thing is, there's still like a bit of an imbalance of power because the pigs know more than all the other animals. They can read. And the other animals, like some of them become like somewhat literate, like they can read to an extent. They're just like struggling a bit with like understanding the 7 commandments and things like that. And there's also just some things that start happening that they didn't really realize it was important to have a human for. Like the cows haven't been milked. And so like the pigs realize they have to milk the cows. And then like when they milk the cows, they go to like harvest and they get back and the milk is gone. And so that's kind of like weird. There's like something weird going on there. Who was drinking the milk? It was supposed to be shared. Why is the milk gone? Mm-hmm. And then there is the pig Napoleon, I think. I can't remember which one. I get them mixed up. Napoleon Snowball. Napoleon, the dogs give birth to puppies. Mm-hmm. And he takes the puppies to care for them. He's like, I got this. And then they all discover that like the pigs have been taking the milk and the apples like to feed the puppies, but like they're taking more than their fair share of the resources that they're harvesting. Yeah. And I don't know, it's just getting like tensions are starting to run high. I don't know, I feel like I'm not explaining this well.
No, that's definitely right. I mean, it's the pigs are, specifically Napoleon is really pushing for the idea that because the pigs are doing so much work on a logistical standpoint, that they need specific food, and that food happens to be the milk and the apples that are like the best food that are specifically good just for pigs, whereas nobody else really needs it, and so they're taking more of their fair share and stuff like that.
Because they say that their brains work better with the milk and the apples. And so, but then like when that, and so like when all the animals discover this, they're mad, but then the pigs are like, no, like if the pigs' brains aren't working for us to lead the farm, then Mr. Jones might come back and he might take the farm. And so all the animals are like, oh, okay, we don't need milk and apples. This is for the communal good. Like, for the greater good, this is okay. You can have the milk and apples. And so there's just things like this happening where you're seeing like there's already an imbalance of power favoring the pigs. So then Mr. Jones comes back anyways, and he's like trying to take the farm back. He brings some men from another farm, but turns out because the pigs are just so dang smart and they've read Julius Caesar and they know about the Roman general Julius Caesar, they are able to lead the animals into victory, basically. Because like Snowball has read books about like the battle campaigns and things. And so the defeat of Mr. Jones is very easy and quick. And the only animal who dies is a sheep. Yeah. And they give the sheep like a proper like war-esque burial. And then Boxer, one of the horses, thinks he accidentally killed like one of the men in this battle. And he's like really sad, and he's like, I didn't want to kill someone, like I know it's a human life, but like I didn't want anyone to die. And he's feeling bad, and Snowball's like, suck it up, the only good human being's a dead one. And Molly, the like fancy horse, sorry, I like get all these animals confused. The fancy horse, she actually hid during the battle. She didn't even try to fight because she didn't want to like get hurt herself. But Snowball and Boxer get war medals, basically, like for being war heroes. And Snowball is just because he's smart, and then Boxer is because he killed a human, basically. And the the medals say animal hero first class. So then Snowball is like, let's build a windmill to make wind energy, and Napoleon's like, no. And they meet to discuss this plan, and basically Napoleon and Snowball, the two leaders, are starting to butt heads. They're disagreeing, and this is like the big disagreement that they have. And so they meet to have like this communal meeting, like, should we build a windmill? And turns out Napoleon's a backstabber, and he created an army of his own, of dogs, and has Snowball attacked and chased off the farm. And all the animals are kind of like, whoa, and they're feeling a little weird. They don't really trust it, but the pigs, Napoleon, and also this other pig who's kind of just like speaks for them. He doesn't like, he's not the brains, but he's like the public speaker.
Yeah.
They're like, no, Snowball was a traitor, and like Napoleon, he's the best leader we could have. So like, we don't need Snowball. And the animals, they follow along with it, and they're like, okay. And so then, now that the animals are under Napoleon's leadership, I feel like for such a short bug, a lot happens.
Yeah.
They're under Napoleon's leadership, and they decide to build the windmill anyways.
Yep. In fact, it
like,
was Napoleon's idea all along to build the windmill. It was never Snowball's idea.
Snowball was trying to steal the glory. He just needed to get out of here. He was a traitor. And so the animals are like working really, really hard to build this windmill, but like Napoleon's not doing any work. The pigs aren't doing any work. The animals are like the ones that have to do the labor. And the animals are kind of like, this kind of feels like something we've experienced before. and they're starting to kind of like question Napoleon and the leadership of the pigs. And oh yeah, and the pigs have moved into the farmhouse at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And that's another big thing, is the pigs move into the farmhouse. And the animals were like, okay, but like that was the one rule, is that no one would move into the farmhouse. So you're making us do all this work, you're rationing our food. The pigs start like cutting their food. And Boxer specifically is doing like the work of 3 horses, for example. And so they're just kind of like running these animals ragged, but the pigs aren't doing anything. They move into the farmhouse. And then this man, like human man, Mr. Whymper starts coming to the farm to help assist Napoleon in like trading the goods that they're producing.
Yeah.
And so all these things are happening, and they're like, you're working with a human, you're living in the farmhouse, you're making us work so hard. And they're just kind of like confused. And so they start questioning the pigs. And they're like, hey, like, for example, like, why are you sleeping in a bed? Wasn't that one of the commandments? And the pigs are like, no, I think you've, like, forgotten the commandment. Like, all animals sleep in beds, like, a pile of straw is a bed. Sheets are a human invention, but beds are fine. And they just start, like, twisting the words that were originally said. So then a storm comes, like a really bad storm, and it does a lot of damage to the farm, and specifically the windmill is like destroyed. Like this thing that they've worked so hard on. And Napoleon's like, you know why this windmill is down? Snowball. Snowball sabotaged us, and he'll do anything. He's trying to destroy Animal Farm. And he says, you know what needs to happen? Snowball needs to die. And he's like, anyone who kills Snowball can have a bushel of apples because they haven't been getting apples this whole time. And then he's like, long live the windmill, long live Animal Farm. Guy's crazy. He's crazy at this point. And so the animals are still trying to rebuild this windmill. It's winter. Napoleon is still being crazy. He starts selling their goods to humans. And the animals are like, doesn't that go against Old Major? The chickens start refusing to give their eggs to Napoleon. They're like, this is like, we are protesting. Like, we don't agree with this. This is not what Old Major would have wanted. And so Napoleon starts like taking away their food rations, and eventually they start dying because it's the middle of the winter. And then like shit's like really hitting the fan, honestly. Like and so basically Napoleon holds a meeting because the animals hear a rumor that Snowball's visiting the farm in secret and sabotaging them, and some of the animals on the farm are working with Snowball. And Napoleon, and the animals are like really the animals are really confused by this because they still like feel a little bit of an allegiance to Snowball. They're like, wait, I thought like Snowball was a war hero. I don't think that's happening. And Boxer was like, yeah, Snowball and I received a medal together. But Napoleon's like, no, this is all part of a plot. And so he's just continuing like this propaganda, like Snowball's bad. And he basically accuses, which animals?
Most of them aren't named.
Yeah. He basically accuses some of the animals on the farm of working and conspiring with Snowball. And his army of dogs, remember the dogs that chased Snowball off the farm? He has those dogs kill the brutally kill the traitors. And the dogs attack Boxer without orders. Like, Napoleon didn't order them to attack Boxer, but they did. But Boxer like kicks him away like he's a massive horse. And yeah, a bunch of animals die, and all the hens have died that wouldn't give their eggs away. And so the animals are all kind of starting to like really be iffy about Napoleon. And so then Napoleon's leadership is tested again because it turns out he's just kind of being shady with his trade dealings in a similar way to how Mr. Jones was neglectful with his money. Turns out he's been accepting forged money. And so like the money he gets is not valid. And so the man that he's been working with, they basically like have war against him and all his men. And so there's another war, and at the end of it, Boxer is like really injured. And so then the farm continues to like less resources. Napoleon gives birth to a bunch of piglets, and the food gets rationed even more to be feeding Napoleon's children. And then Animal Farm is declared a republic, so it's no longer it's not been equal for a long time, but they declare it a republic, and Napoleon is elected president, but not really. He just becomes president. And then they're still pushing this propaganda about Snowball. Boxer's still not doing well post-battle. He's still injured, and he like faints while working, like he falls down, and he's taken away in a cart. And the animals are kind of freaking out, and they're like, what's going to happen to Boxer? Is he okay? And there's a rumor circulating that he's being taken to his death in a glue factory. The animals, but Napoleon's like, no, like, why would we do that? Like, man does that. We don't do that. But actually, yeah. And I feel like I'm not skipping things. Just like so many things happen. I feel like at this point, like, you're kind of getting the gist. Like, things just keep changing from what they originally were said. Like, they keep changing the commandments. They keep changing the rules. They keep restricting the food. The animals are just working so hard. Napoleon is first leader, now president. They're changing the government. It's just, like, so quickly this takeover is happening.
Yeah.
And the animals are, like, just really, they're starting to, like, really not trust Napoleon. Like, they're kind of like, all right, this is getting out of hand. And so, yeah, Boxer's taken away, and he doesn't come back. And, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't come back. I mean, you just don't really hear anything else about Boxer.
He got glued.
He got glued. Yeah, he's taken away. They were lied to about it. The food is basically, like, they, like, don't have food at this point.
Yeah.
Like, they're, like, barely eating. And the pig, who's their public speaker, continues saying, like, oh, like, giving them, like, statistics and all these things. Like, yeah, but the ration readjustment makes sense because blah, blah, blah. And, like...
Yeah, and claiming that rations have gone up and stuff. Very 1984.
Mm-hmm. And so then Napoleon, like, he's giving all the food to his dogs, him, and his pig children. And he's like, you know what? Now we need a schoolhouse. Like, now that the windmill is finally rebuilt, we need a schoolhouse because we got to educate my children.
Mm-hmm.
But the farm has, like, no money because he got forged money, and he also is not managing the money well. And so he starts these spontaneous demonstrations, also called, or they're, spontaneous demonstrations, and the animals, like, march around the farm, and he gives speeches, and the other pig gives speeches, and the animals are, like, complaining, except for the sheep. The sheep love it, which is funny. And the animals are, what am I saying? The animals are complaining because it's, like, more work. Like, they're having to march and do more work, despite the fact that they're already, like, working to build this schoolhouse, and their food's getting cut even more to save money so that they can fund the schoolhouse. And then the day that Napoleon becomes president, they reveal, like, another, theory about Snowball, like, making Snowball the enemy. And they're like, Snowball was actually on Mr. Jones's side, and he fought with him at the Battle of Cowshed and cried, "Long live humanity." And because the battle happened so long ago, the animals, like, just don't really remember, and they're like, oh, I guess so, that did happen. And Moses, the raven, returns and continues being like, hey guys, remember Sugar Candy Mountain? Remember me talking about that? Well, it's still there. And the pigs, like, continue to denounce, like, that rumor, but they do let the raven live on the farm. And so the raven's just kind of going around being crazy, talking about Sugar Candy Mountain. Yeah. And so, is there anything else before I tell the end of the book?
I don't think so. I think that's it.
Okay. I feel like this has been really scattered because I'm trying to remember all the events. Yeah. And so they go on. It's, like, years, and they're just, like, living their life like this, in this, like, despair. And finally, a lot of the animals, the original animals, have died, and there's not very many animals left on the farm that really remember the rebellion, and are remembering, like, the day when Old Major was still there. And the farm has, like, become a lot richer. They have more money now, but it doesn't really benefit anyone except for the pigs and the dogs still. And the animals all still have, like, a lot of pride in Animal Farm, and they believe that, like, a world free from humans is, like, equal for all animals, even though it's not. But one day, the sheep go off with one of the pigs. Clover starts like exclaiming like, ah, what's going on? All the animals come to Clover and they see the pig who had taken the sheep off walking back towards them from that spot on his hind legs. And then Napoleon, the other pig, is walking upright too. And he has a whip in his hand. And before like they're confused and they're like, what's going on? But then the sheep begin to chant, 4 legs good, 2 legs better. And Clover's like, what? Wait, can someone read the barn? Like that wasn't one of the commandments. Can someone read the commandments? And they look over at the barn and they realize like all the commandments are gone. The only one that's left on the barn is all animals are equal. But now it says all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others.
Mm-hmm.
And then Napoleon starts like smoking a pipe and reading magazines and listening to the radio and using the telephone and wearing clothes that they took from Mr. Jones's closet. And they start acting like humans. And one day the pigs invite like human farmers to Animal Farm, and the farmers praise the pigs and are like, wow, you've done such a good job with this place. And they're like, I'm sorry about the past and the misunderstandings we've had amongst each other. And the other animals watch as like the humans and Napoleon are like having drinks together, and the farmers says to Napoleon, if you have your lower animals to contend with, we have our lower classes. Basically just saying like, I get it, like you've got these lower animals
mm-hmm.
that to deal with, and we've got our lower farmer workers to deal with. And the humans are like, it's really impressive that you found ways to make the animals work harder and on less food than any other group of farm animals in the entire county. Like, how have you done this? And basically the humans are going to implement what Napoleon has done at Animal Farm
mm-hmm.
on their farms. And so the animals don't call each other comrade anymore. They don't talk about Old Major anymore. And basically, like, Napoleon's assuring the men, like, they're going to change back to the old ways. And he's like, this is going to be Manor Farm again, not Animal Farm. And yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, and then like the scene just ends with the animals and the pigs and the farmers getting into some kind of an argument, and all of the animals that are watching realize that they can't tell the difference anymore between a pig and a human.
The pigs. Yeah. And that's the end of the book.
It's a bleak one, folks.
Were you hoping for another revolution? Well, too bad. You didn't get one. Everything just ended up being bad again.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's definitely a book that you can see a lot of the like fingerprints, I guess, of 1984 on. Like, it's very clear that this was a book that inspired the future writing of 1984.
Yeah. I hope that was a good summary. It was a little bit scattered because there really is a lot of action in this book. It's very action heavy, but that's because it's so short, so they gotta pack it all in. But really, I think it all just is. You can sum it down to like it's just progressively getting more like it was before.
Yeah. You have a revolution that takes place, but then the people who take charge after the revolution take advantage of power in order to become more powerful. And as long as people are taking advantage of power, the result kind of looks the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, that's Animal Farm. Next week, we will be talking a little bit about George Orwell. We've already talked about George Orwell quite a bit when we did our 1984 episode. So if you want to learn more about the life of George Orwell, than what we'll talk about. Definitely go check that out. But also about the Russian Revolution.
Yes.
So that will be fun. Well, fun. Yeah. But before we go, I want to play a game that we often play with our book series, which is Have They Read It? And we just wildly speculate on whether notable public figures have read this book.
Yeah.
So I will start us off with someone you already mentioned earlier, Paul Mescal.
Okay. No. I think that this book is not literary enough for him to have read it. And, like, I'm trying to say this in a way that is not just disparaging the character of Paul Mescal, but I feel like he is someone who participates in and appreciates art and artistic achievement, but I think that there's an asterisk on that, and it has to be a specific style of art or a specific prestige of art. And while I think that this is a classic novel, it's not necessarily known to be like a classic literary work of art. And so I just don't think that this is a genre that he would have taken time to delve into.
No, that makes sense.
I'm thinking about pigs in charge of things. Do you think, and this is somebody that I think is, actually, I'm going to change, I want to do somebody that we haven't done before, but it's really tough to avoid when we're talking about greedy pigs in charge of things. Do you think Jeff Bezos has read this?
No. I don't know Jeff Bezos personally. I don't know if you guys knew that. I don't. But I feel like I'm sure he has read, but I just don't know that he's reading I feel like he's reading nonfiction. I don't know.
He's an Atomic Habits kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I don't think he's read it. Do you think, I'm trying to think of someone who's English, British.
Okay.
That we haven't done before. Have we done, we might have done her, so sorry if we have, but Emma Watson.
I'm gonna go with yes, because I feel like she's someone who reads a lot and is educated and has pretty good progressive politics from what I know. And this is a short enough book that I feel like she would have picked it up and just read it in an afternoon so that she could say she's read it.
And also, I don't know, I just wonder if, because George Orwell was a British author, if you're more likely to read his books in school in
Maybe.
England? I don't know.
Huh. That's a good question. I don't know how well read he is in the UK. If you're a UK listener, reach out, give us a shout. Let us know if you had to read anything by George Orwell.
Yeah.
So my second and also my last one, I am thinking about how this is a metaphor, an analogy, the whole thing is really based around the Russian Revolution. And so I'm curious, do you think that Vladimir Putin has read Animal Farm?
Maybe. But I feel like if he read it, he was like, wow, this has a great motto. This is a great book.
I don't know. I assume that he is generally speaking, in certain ways, a smart man. I feel like anybody that's in a position of power like that is intelligent in some way. Maybe not the ways you would want them to be, but they're intelligent in certain ways. And so I feel like it would be I don't think that he could read this and come away with it having a different meaning than what it does have, or a different message. But in my mind, it feels like something that he would have read in the same way that I would read Ayn Rand or something, where it's like, I know that this person is wrong. I'm reading because if you're supposed to know your enemy or whatever. Like, if you want to be able to talk about it or seem as though you're informed, you have to be well-rounded enough that you've read stuff that you know you're going to disagree with.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. For some reason, I feel like he has, because I don't know. He seems like he reads. I don't know why.
Possibly. Or at the very least, I bet that he did when he was younger.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
All right. Well, that'll do it. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. How do we close it? Wow, sorry. I'm like out of practice for normal episodes. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. If you want to find us in the next week, we are on social. We're coming back to social media allegedly
after a brief holiday hiatus.
A holiday hiatus. We're so back on Instagram at the Satire Fire Pod, POD, and on TikTok, Blue Sky, and YouTube at the Satire Fire. Find us, follow us, like, comment, subscribe, DM Samuel about heated rivalry, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, and be sure, wherever you're listening, go ahead and rate us 5 stars if you'd like to, and tell a friend about the show. We really appreciate that so many of y'all have shared the show with people in your life. That feels like it's a really cool way to be a connection between two people. Our intro and outro are remixes of the song 48 by Cullah. And as Sydney said earlier on, be sure to join us next week when Sydney is going to show you what you need to know in order to become a scholar in the history of the Russian Revolution.
I don't know, a scholar might be
you'll learn
to use.
You'll learn exactly enough that if it comes up at a dinner party, you can sound interesting, which is really what this whole show is about, being interesting at dinner parties.
That's it. Not really educated enough to be an expert, just interesting.
Welcome to the Satire Fire, where we educate you just enough to put your foot in your mouth.
All right, well, thanks again for listening. We'll see you next week. I'm Sydney.
And I'm Samuel.
This is the Satire Fire. Bye.
Bye.
I just about come to the end of the road. Here, I've just about lost patience with you people. You get your ass out into the mountains or someplace, or hide in there and watch that damn tube. But if not, fuck it. I'm done. In fact, my sermon